Hello and welcome to another episode of Escapades Player Review Session. My name is Suryansh and delighted to be joined as usual by Akshad and Amit. Boys, first recording of the year. Wishing you both green arrows throughout the year, upcoming year. And yeah, man, let's take this year head on and let's climb ranks as we've all been doing last couple of weeks. So let's just stay doing that and let's just move on. And this week, we are doing something different. Instead of focusing on one player, we've tried focusing on crucial partnerships, if you'd like to call it that. You know, players from a single team who you can seriously think about doubling up in the coming few game weeks. So yeah, man, let's not waste any further time and talk to me, Akshat. Um, Donning your jersey, not very hard to guess what club's players you're going for, but yeah, talk to me, man.
So the players that I have chosen, the duo that I've chosen is for Manchester United, and no surprise that if I choose Bruno and Rashford, because with 35 FPL returns in 30 Premier League matches for United, it is a no secret that Fernandes is the most influential and impactful player for the FPL community ever since he has donned the United jersey. He has given 8 double-digit hauls this season, which is the highest count. So, yeah, for me, the first player is Bruno, and the partner in crime which I have chosen for him is Rashford because he's looking really sharp this season, and ahead of game week 18 and double game week 19, it might well be a good strategy to double up on the United players. No, because for Rashford listed as a midfielder this season, unlike the last season where he scored 177 points, listed as a striker, scoring 18 goals and 7 assists. And this season, he has already scored 7 goals and registered 4 assists to his name. So, yeah, for me, I think this duo has the potential to outperform any other duo in the Premier League because of the United attacking style of play, and also with Cavani back from suspension against Burnley in game week 18, it will be, it will ease the pressure from Rashford's young and able shoulders and giving more freedom to showcase his talent with the ball because there's no doubt that he's getting a lot of chances this season. So yeah, the duo of the Premier League for me are Bruno and Rashford.
I mean, that's an amazing pick. My favorite pick already, and I don't even need to discuss Amit's and my pick. But yeah, man, as you mentioned, Bruno Fernandes. It's like other players. Unlike other players, you need to find out or count the number of blanks he has in the
Yeah.
entire season. That's the kind of player he's been. And Rashford, correctly, he's been one if our second best performer. I mean, the last 12 months, and if the lad just brushes up on his finishing, I'm sure he's gonna break. He has the potential to break a lot. The overall tally of FPL points. There, I firmly believe that. So yeah, man, Amit, what do you think about Akshad's pick?
I quite like the Rashford choice because Bruno is the obvious one, and the combination with actually the before the season started, if you had asked me, I would have said Marshall and Bruno do the combination,
Same.
but unfortunately, Marshall hasn't clicked as of yet, and hopefully that changes by the end of the year. But yeah, Rashford at 9.5, and he's looking all set to break that 200-point barrier, which would be a very big achievement from a 9.5 player. And even if he was not listed, if he was listed as the midfielder last season, also I firmly believe he would have got that. He would have broken the 200-point barrier in the last year itself. But yeah, nothing gives as much joy to us when we see our United boys scoring those points for us.
Moving forward, Amit, really intrigued to know what your picks are, man. Talk to me.
So I have the surrogate United right now because I have I have picked and gone with two of the Mourinho choices. Although it
No
feels like a
surprises there.
bad breakup with Mourinho and United, with each of his press conference taking a dig at Ole. But yeah, but traditionally, Mourinho teams usually have a focal point in their teams. You see any great Mourinho team, it usually has a focal point, and you have those like Ozil Ronaldo combination. You had the Lampard and the Drogba combinations. You have the Duff before that. Traditionally, Mourinho teams always seem to have a partnership going, and this time with this Spurs team, he has found the ideal partnership in Son. I mean, the guy would run himself down. You know, he's the flash in that team. He just keeps doing everything. He's happy to run back to left back position and then make the run from there.
Only if he could steal players of our opposition, no? Amit?
Yes,
Son would be the
definitely,
perfect. Yeah, but go
definitely,
on, man.
definitely, man, definitely. And you have a striker which he tried at United with Lukaku. And first season he did that with Ibrahimovic and Lukaku. It did not turn well, as we all know it. But yeah, Lukaku had his other strengths. But yeah, but Kane is very good with the ball at his feet also. So that is a major point. And you see the kind of player Kane was before Mourinho and how he has transformed into it. If only managers could get points in FPL. But with a combination total combined goals and assists for Kane and Son is around 38, I guess. Son has scored 12 goals from the midfield at a 9.5. He is definitely gonna break the 200 point barrier, and he's
Absolutely.
I mean, you go with Son, you get a Salah like striker at 3 point lesser. What better you can go? And ideally, if you're going with a one heavy striker strategy, nothing like I don't think at the moment anyone in the league is better than Harry Kane as a striker. So yeah, I have gone with this combination, and I think my combination has more goals than total whole of Arsenal team combined. So yeah,
So with
Yeah,
that, we
definitely.
complete the weekly cheeky punt at Arsenal. Thanks to Amit and Akshat.
So yeah, it's a very good choice, Kane and Son. I think it is the best current duo. Like I said, that Bruno and Rashford have the potential to be the best duo, but as of now, the best duo present in the Premier League is Kane and Son.
I mean, it's safe to say that this partnership is the benchmark in the Premier League as of now, and
Definitely,
all
definitely.
other partnerships, aspire to reach that level. And the number that Amit just mentioned, the returns that they've given, it's absolutely mind-boggling when it comes to FPL. Absolutely brilliant pick, and I don't think there's any second guessing about Son and Kane. So yeah, moving forward, I've gone in for the partnership that I've chosen for this week has to involve Kevin De Bruyne, and the second player that I want to, like Akshat mentioned, the partner in crime, his partner in crime. Um, I had to debate between Raheem Sterling and Phil Foden, but then I made a decision on Phil Foden. If there's one player that I really envy in the City squad, in all seriousness, after Kevin De Bruyne, has to be Phil Foden. I mean, the guy is super talented and just a joy to watch. Pity that he dons the rival color. But yeah, man, football lovers first, and the just a baller, man. Um, and talking about the game that he had against Chelsea, goal assist for both my picks. Um, I just came across an interesting stat today that Kevin De Bruyne has now become the player who's given most returns against Chelsea who had played for Chelsea. So that transfer disaster in 2013 just keeps going from bad to worse for them. But what a player! His passing skills and everything. I mean, it's just like we mentioned before. He's just a benchmark, man. He's set such a high benchmark, both in terms of Premier League and FPL also. His numbers have been crazy. Only this season, I think, correct me with this, Amit, that Kevin De Bruyne went 4 game weeks without giving a return for the first time. Three game weeks or 4 game weeks, I'm not too sure, but this was a pretty crazy stat that I came across this season. And for a midfielder, I mean, that's just mind blowing. And yeah, goal assist in his previous match against Chelsea. And what impressed me more in this partnership this week was Phil Foden. This is because his
Mm.
price, obviously, his price is, you can't compare it to the price of Sterling. You'll save a lot. And Pep playing Foden against Chelsea is just, kind of reassured me that Foden is now arrived on the grand stage. Playing against bigger teams. Played almost the entire match. So yeah, I mean, Phil Foden for me is my pick for the game week that's just gone by. And although only 16 returns from this partnership combined in terms of goals and assists, but the ceiling is unmatched. I mean, if both of them and
And and
yeah, go on.
especially I think city teams looks like it's picking up at the right time, picking at the
Absolutely,
right time. This
absolutely.
team looks really settled.
That was my next point. That they are looking a dangerous team and peaking at the right time is the word. They were looking a little rusty at the start, but now they are looking the city that we've been used to seeing the last few seasons. And Kevin De Bruyne playing false nine. I mean, I was watching his interview after the match. He himself confessed that initially 15 minutes he himself was confused as to what was happening. But for somebody who's not played there very often, he was fantastic. Also, Foden played in the front three. So, yeah, I mean, Pep rotation is always a threat. But for managers who think they understand the Pep rotation, and yeah, man, Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne, uh, double up on them. And I think it's a very safe and a very, in terms of differential, a very good option to have in your team. Uh, so, yeah, lads, what do you think about the picks, the City picks?
I totally agree because the partnership that Phil Foden and KDB, whenever they have played together, I find it very impressive. But as you said, with the Pep rotation, Pep rule, you can't guess whether Phil Foden will start a match or not. So I'm scared. I
Absolutely.
have KDB in my team, but I'm still skeptical of getting Foden. Apart because of the rest of the choices or the duo that we have mentioned, you don't have to guess whether they'll play or not. They'll definitely play because they are the two best players of their respective teams. But with Phil Foden, I like Phil Foden as a guy because he's really a good bowler. But with Pep Rule in
No,
action,
absolutely.
you can't
Yeah, I
guess.
agree completely. I mean, there are only a couple of players who were completely safe with that rotation, and Kevin De Bruyne being one of them.
Being one of
And
them, yeah.
yeah, so if you get your tactics and your guessing right with what Pep's gonna do, I mean, that in itself is can have another FPL tournament just on that, on what lineup Pep will play. That's something that I think Amit will be really good at predicting what Pep is going to do, as he did in the past. Um, so yeah, lads, that was it for this game week. And we've had a wonderful conversation, wonderful partnerships from both of the lads, and partnerships that FPL managers can, seriously consider going forward, doubling up on these players. So yeah, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know if there is anything specific that there is you want us to talk about, and we'll make sure that we do. And another busy period coming up, double game week coming up. We'll be sure to see you with that. So yeah, lads, it was lovely talking to you. Insightful chat, and let's see you next week then.
It's a pleasure, man.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yes.
Okay.